What's up YouTube? This is Kai24 back at your screens, and today I'm going to be bringing you another very juicy tech video. And today we talk about something that seems to be a little bit of a hot topic on this channel, and that is cameras, and more specifically the Canon EOS RP. And you might be thinking, why the Canon EOS RP? Why specifically this camera? What's so special about this camera? Well, just like most of my content, this video is aimed primarily at content creators. Not that nobody else can see this video and take benefit from it, I hope you can, but primarily this video is aimed at content creators. And so today we're going to talk about this camera and why it's such a fantastic choice for any content creator looking to up their camera game and step into that world of full frame cameras without paying a massive premium. Now, I've mentioned before, and we all kind of know that I love cameras, and this is a newfound love that I found during my journey as a content creator. And one of my personal favorite cameras is a Canon EOS M50, because not only is it a great camera, it was my first camera, but also because I think that it's such a fantastic camera for content creators. What happens when you then want to upgrade into something that can pack a little bit more of a punch and kind of up your YouTube game to a whole different level? Because like myself, there might be many creators who want to then upgrade their camera game so that they can push their content to the limits because of the type of content that they're filming, or because they just want to move from an APS-C camera system to a full frame camera system. But that upgrade, that jump is so big in terms of pricing that it deters them. And that, my friends, that, ladies and gentlemen, is exactly where the Canon EOS RP comes in. Now again, with a lot of my videos, especially kind of tech reviews, I'm just going to cover the basic specs of this. I'm not going to go into detail about specs and this and that, because there's 1,000 other videos on the internet that do just that. This review is going to be from a real world usage point of view, and it's going to talk about specifically why the camera is good for content creators, especially the ones who are looking to upgrade, or even content creators who are looking to buy the EOS RP. And I'll give you all the reasons as to why I think the Canon EOS RP is an absolute fantastic camera. So a little bit of history. The Canon EOS RP came out back in March 2019, and it came out after its kind of, I say, big brother, the Canon EOS R, which was released in October 2018. And since then, we've seen a whole bunch of Canon EOS R range cameras come out, such as the R5, the R6, and soon, I think it's being released now, or it's coming out soon, the EOS R3. Yeah, whatever. There's a whole bunch of cameras in the EOS R region that have come out since. Now, the Canon EOS RP is a 26.2 megapixel full frame mirrorless camera with an interchangeable lens system, which is something that you get with a lot of the mirrorless cameras out on the market these days. And it is capable of recording footage of up to 4K. This camera, like all other cameras in the EOS R range, features an RF mount system, which is Canon's brand new mount system for their cameras, and a lot of the new lenses that they're bringing out actually feature this RF mount. However, this camera is still compatible with all of Canon's EF and EFS lenses, as long as you've got the mount adapter to go with it. Now, there is something cool that I want to mention about the RF lenses very quickly, and it is something that makes the R cameras slightly more special, because the RF lenses feature an additional control ring right on the lens itself, and this is customizable to whatever you want, whether you want to change it to shutter speed, ISO, aperture, whatever you want to control, whatever setting you want to control, you can apply it to that ring. You can set it to that control ring and control that setting directly from the lens itself. Now, this is a pretty unique feature to the RF lenses, and since they work primarily with the EOS R cameras, it's a kind of cool thing that's exclusive to the R range of cameras. Now, back to the Canon RP, it's got all the similar stuff that you would expect from a full frame body. It features the same Digicate image processor that you see in the Canon EOS R, and even cameras like the M50, and obviously things like eye detection, autofocus, and digital stabilization. Now, as well as being amazing for photography, it's also absolutely fantastic for filming video with, which is probably the main reason why a content creator would look to getting this camera body. It can film video in all the popular resolutions and frame rates, such as 1080p 24 fps, 1080p 30, 1080p 60, 4K 30, 4K 60, so on and so forth. However, it doesn't have 120 FPS mode, so filming that amazing buttery slow-mo footage might not be possible. However, it does have the 60 FPS mode, which is probably good enough. Now, I do want to mention here is that when the camera did first come out, it didn't have a 1080p 24 FPS mode. Why it didn't have this is beyond me. However, since then, Canon have released an upgrade, a firmware upgrade, which allows the camera to have 1080p 24 fps. And because of this, on release, the camera was highly critiqued by a lot of filmmakers and creators because it didn't have that 24 fps mode at 1080p, because 24 fps is what most creators use to film their footage, as it gives that nice cinematic look that you want for your videos. Now, at the beginning of their career, most content creators would probably start filming their YouTube videos with just their mobile phones. And let's face it, that's fantastic because mobile phones have really good cameras these days. So it's more than enough to start with. And from there, most creators will want to upgrade to their first budget or entry-level mirrorless camera, which is usually an APS-C system like the Canon EOS M50 or the Sony a6000. Now, these are all fantastic cameras on their own right, and once you get hold of one of these, it generally does the job for a very long time. However, like I said before, there are a couple of creators who then want to go and upgrade that even further into possibly a full frame body. And for these kind of creators, the Canon EOS RP is an absolute fantastic choice, and there are a couple of very good reasons for why that is. Now, first and foremost is the price. Yes, I'm going to kind of get straight to the point. It is the price. The Canon EOS RP is actually the cheapest full frame camera to be made till date. Right now, you can probably grab this bad boy brand new for the body only for about £1,000, and that's actually insanely cheap considering that most full frame camera bodies cost almost twice as much to get brand new. Actually, I think Amazon are doing a deal where you can grab it for about £1,050 right now. I'm going to leave an Amazon Associates link down in the description box below, so if you do want to grab it brand new, then you can click that link and it helps the channel out as well. Now, if you're not fussed about grabbing your camera off secondhand, then this bad boy actually sells for about £700 to £800 used on websites like eBay or Gumtree if you look hard enough. And that is an insane price. I think I got mine for around £750, and at the time it had a shutter count of below 6,000, which is practically brand new if you think about it in terms of camera kind of shelf life. I say shelf life, but I mean kind of life, but you get what I'm saying, right? In terms of a camera's life, 6,000 shutter count is insane. Now, comparatively, that's amazing because even the Canon EOS M50 Mark II is £580 for the body on loan if you buy it brand new, and if you're buying it with a kit lens, it comes out to about £700 as well. So you're essentially getting a full frame camera body for the price of an APS-C camera. So even if you're not looking to upgrade and you're looking to get your first camera, this might even be a fantastic choice because you can go straight into full frame at the same price as what it would cost you to get an APS-C camera. Now, obviously, you'd have to spend a little bit more on lenses, but it's still worth it because you're getting a full frame camera and you've got the compatibility of a massive range of lenses at your disposal to get for it. So spending less on the camera, more on the lenses, and bang, you've got a fantastic camera system to use for filming all of your YouTube content. Now, despite the price, this camera definitely doesn't cheap out on its features. Get it? Get it? Cheap out because it's so cheap, it doesn't cheap out. Get anybody? No? Nobody's laughing? Really? I thought it was funny. Or is that just because I'm a dad now and I'm pulling out those dad jokes? Might be because of that. Oh well, that leads on to my second point, which is quality and features. It has all the cool features that you expect from a full frame camera, as well as being super high quality with this 26.2 megapixel sensor, which allows you to take amazing photos and film amazing videos. Now, since getting this camera, it has become my daily driver and my main camera body. I've even done a bunch of paid photography and videography work with it, so I can vouch for how good this camera is. All of my content creation work has been done on it since I got it, and all my YouTube videos have turned out pretty damn good. The autofocus on the camera is fantastic, which is perfect for content creators, especially if you move around a lot like I do. It catches you with the eye detection autofocus. It's got digital image stabilization, so if you're shooting that nice B-roll and you turn on the digital image stabilization, it does help you film that B-roll just a little more smoothly, especially if you're doing it handheld. It's got Canon's fantastic color science built into it, so images and video turn out fantastic. And with the right lens, you can get some absolutely amazing footage with this thing. And that's another thing, lens compatibility. There are Canon's RF lenses, but they are a bit more expensive. However, this can still use all of Canon's EF and EFS lenses, so if you're upgrading from this and you're already part of Canon's ecosystem, then that's fantastic for you because all you need to do is grab that EF adapter, fit it onto the Canon EOS RP, and you are good to go with the lenses that you already have. Now, it's so good that if you're not fussed about things like filming in log, which it doesn't have, or filming in 4K, which you can do, however, it doesn't have the eye detection autofocus, then you are absolutely gonna love this camera. And for most content creators out there, filming in 1080p is absolutely more than enough because it gives you the right resolution that you need for your YouTube videos, and again, it now has 24 FPS, so you can film with that nice cinematic frame rate that every creator wants for their. Now, compared to some of the other full frames on the market, it is a little less feature packed. However, it still doesn't shy out on the quality, especially when you compare it to cameras such as the Canon EOS R, which is its essential big brother. Actually, Peter McKinnon did a video, and so did a whole bunch of other YouTubers, comparing the Canon EOS RP footage to Canon EOS R footage to see what differences there were, and if the audience, as lay people, would be able to judge whether there's a difference or not. And guess what? Nobody could tell. The footage looked very similar, and only if you've got a really trained eye in cinematography, really trained eye in terms of color science and coloring and grading and all of that kind of stuff, and resolution and sharpness and whatever it is, then maybe you'd be able to tell. However, for everyday viewers just like yourselves, you'd probably not be able to tell any different. Now, for the creators who are looking to up their YouTube game with a full frame system, this bad boy definitely delivers more than enough features to make you guys happy, because it definitely made me happy when I started using it. And of course, if you're a streamer, then this thing can be used for streaming as well, because it does have that clean HDMI function and unlimited runtime that every streamer wants from their camera. And obviously, being a full frame camera, it gives fantastic quality streams. It's fantastic as a webcam. It's one of the main cameras on my stream, so if that's what you want to use it for, you can do that too. Now, the final reason behind why I think this camera is so good for content creators is its practicality. And by this, I mean how compact it is and how easy to use it is. Just look at it. It's actually almost as small as my Canon EOS M50. It's nice, small, and compact. When I sometimes put my hand into my bag, I can barely tell the difference between the Canon M50 and this one. All the dials are in the same kind of place. It's really good and easy to use, especially if you come from a Canon ecosystem. Then the menus are going to be very familiar to you. You're not going to have a problem in kind of setting it up and using it. Again, I mentioned it's compact, it's nice, it's light, it's small, it's fantastic for things like vlogging. So if you're going to be using this as a vlogging camera, it's not going to add a massive amount of weight to it, unless you're putting a huge lens on top of it, then yeah, that's going to add to the weight. But the camera itself isn't really very heavy. I can kind of fling it around like that, and it's not scary to kind of just toss about everywhere. It's got nice, light, good grip to it. I can grab it with one hand like that. So you're going to find it really comfortable to use. And on top of that, it's not going to add any weight to your bag, especially if you're putting it in there, taking it out for a vlog, taking it out to shoot a video somewhere else. Then, you're not going to really feel this thing in your bag much. You can even chuck it into your normal everyday backpack with the lens on top of it. And that's fantastic, because that's exactly what you want from a compact mirrorless camera. And on top of that, it's got this fully articulating screen, which is again fantastic for vlogging, but it's also fantastic for viewing yourself, especially when you've got the camera out in front of you, which is obviously something you want from any camera that you're going to get as a content creator. Now, there are a couple of downsides that I did mention before, but I'm just going to repeat them here again. It doesn't film in log format, so it doesn't have C-Log, which isn't really a big issue for most content creators, but if you're a kind of avid filmmaker in the rise, then you might want to grab something like the EOS R instead, which does have C-Log. However, for most of us, it's not really a deal breaker. Another thing is, even though it films in 4K, that 4K footage is cropped by about 1.6 times, so you're essentially getting an APS-C cropping from that 4K footage. And on top of that, it doesn't have the eye detection autofocus, which is a little bit of a bummer, because if you want to film footage in 4K, if you want to film yourself in 4K, then you're not going to be able to do that very well, because the eye detection autofocus doesn't kick in and just makes the 4K essentially unusable. Again, no idea why Canon has chosen to hit this camera so hard with these lack of features, like the lack of 1080p 24 FPS, lack of usable 4K. I don't know why. I'm presuming they wanted to build a budget full frame camera, and they just were like, nope, we're gonna take that out, we're gonna take that out, we're gonna take that out, and that's gonna drop the price. Regardless, it's still a fantastic camera, and I still highly recommend it. Another downside, I would say, hasn't really affected me much, especially if you're gonna be using it just as a filming camera for your YouTube videos, but it is the kind of battery life that it provides. It does come with an LPE17 battery system instead of the kind of traditional LPE6 battery, which a lot of creators tend to have with their older cameras, especially if you're an avid filmmaker and have lots of different kind of cameras. Some of the older cameras do tend to have the LPE6 battery system. However, if you're using it as purely a camera for video, then you're better off just buying a dummy battery, which you can just plug in, keep it plugged in, and then you've got it running for however long you need to run it for. And so that pretty much solves your problem. Again, I'm going to pop an Amazon Associates link to a good one that you can grab down below. So if you are looking to get this camera and you want to use it for filming your YouTube videos, I want to get that dummy battery, or if you're going to be using it for streaming and need that unlimited runtime without your battery dying off halfway through, then you can go and pick one up. Overall, I still think this is an absolutely fantastic camera. It is full frame, it delivers on what's expected of it as a full frame camera, and I just think it's a fantastic choice for an upgrade or as your first camera, especially given how cheap it is. I still very much love my Canon M50. It has become kind of my secondary / backup camera, which I use for filming B-roll or grabbing different angles in my videos. It's always great to have a second camera body. However, this has since become my primary camera and I've absolutely loved using it. It served me perfectly in all of my content creation needs. However, the reason I'm making this video now is I have decided to get rid of this, and the only reason I've decided to do that is because I have started doing a lot more paid photography and videography work, and because of that reason I felt that I needed just that extra oomph in my video quality, and because of that I picked up a Canon EOS R, which is what I'm using to film this video right now. And that's all I'm going to talk about today, guys. If you're looking to get a full frame body and you don't want to spend the premium on it, then the Canon EOS RP is absolutely a fantastic choice, and I will highly recommend it to any content creator looking to get a full frame. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I hope it was useful for you in making a decision as to whether or not you're going to get that Canon EOS RP upgrade. If you did enjoy it, then make sure you hit that like button down below. It means the world that you guys are watching my videos, and hitting that like button tells me how much you are enjoying them or not. And if you do enjoy my content in general, then hit that subscribe button, and if you want to know when my new content is coming out, then hit that notification bell and you'll be notified exactly when my new videos drop, which is usually once a week. So until then, everybody, this is Kai24 signing out. That wasn't meant to happen. I was meant to go. Nope, I can't stop. Oh, my head feels really woozy now. Oh my god. Swiftly chairs are nice, but when you're my age, I can't even talk anymore. When you're my age, just not for me. Anyway, I'm going to do it again. Bye bye.